Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the absolutely wild transformation of semiconductor giant AMD. We're talking about a company that, in just a single year, basically reinvented itself, trading its deep roots in consumer tech for a brand new future in artificial intelligence. So that's the big question we're tackling today. And the answer, well, it reveals one of the boldest strategic pivots you'll ever see in a company this size. And the best part? It's all laid out, clear as day in their own financial reports. Okay, so first, let's set the stage. To really get just how massive this change was, we need a before picture. So let's rewind the clock and look at what AMD looked like right before this whole AI explosion kicked off. For most of us, AMD was the company behind the Ryzen CPUs in our laptops and the Radeon GPUs powering our gaming rigs. For years, the client and gaming divisions weren't just parts of the business. They were the business. It was their public face, their entire brand. All right, let's get into the numbers. This is from their own reports for fiscal year 2023. And what you see here are two titans, gaming and data center, both pulling in over $6 billion each. They're pretty evenly matched. Now, I want you to burn these figures into your brain because they are about to get turned completely upside down. And then, bam, a technological explosion just changed everything. The launch of generative AI created this sudden, absolutely insatiable demand for a totally new kind of computing power. It was like a new gold rush, but for silicon. So what are we talking about here? AI accelerators. Now, don't think of these as your typical gaming graphics cards. These are incredibly powerful GPUs built for one purpose, and one purpose only, to crunch the massive calculations needed for artificial intelligence. These things, like AMD's Instinct GPUs, are the engines that power services like ChatGPT, and they created a brand new multi-billion-dollar market almost overnight. And look, this wasn't just some hot new trend, it was a seismic shift. Companies all over the world were suddenly in a frantic race to build out their AI infrastructure, creating this once-in-a-generation opportunity. And AMD? They pivoted hard to grab their piece of the pie. So, just how dramatic was this pivot? Well, the numbers from just 1 year later tell a story that is frankly shocking. You just don't see a revenue transformation happen this fast. I mean, just look at this. The contrast is unbelievable. In 1 year, data center revenue, which is all about those AI chips, nearly doubled. At the exact same time, gaming revenue, once a cornerstone of the company, was slashed by more than half. It's a perfect mirror image of explosive growth and sharp decline. It's wild. And here it is in raw dollars, which really drives the point home. Look at those bars. The two segments completely swap places. Now sure, part of the gaming dip was a broader market slowdown after the pandemic, but it also shows you exactly where the company was pointing its resources and its focus. The data center business went from running neck and neck with gaming to absolutely dwarfing it. The whole company's center of gravity just shifted. Let's just pause on that number for a second. $12.6 billion. In a single year, AMD's data center business became this colossal empire all on its own. An empire larger than the gaming and client segments of 2023 times combined. Now, this wasn't just a good quarter or some temporary market fad. No, this was a fundamental reshaping of the company's DNA. It was so profound that in 2025, AMD actually made it official by totally reorganizing its entire business structure. And here's the crucial move. They formally acknowledged their new reality. You can see it in their 2025 SEC filings. They took their traditional consumer businesses, client and gaming, and merged them into one. Why? Well, it cements the data center as the undisputed, standalone star of the show. But here's the thing. When you become a dominant player in a field as globally critical as artificial intelligence, it doesn't just come with big rewards. It comes with a whole new category of very high-stakes geopolitical risks. And hey, don't just take my word for it. AMD says it themselves, right here in their own risk disclosures. Their success in AI has put them smack dab in the middle of complex government rules, especially the U.S. export controls aimed at China. And these are not some abstract, far-off regulations. We're talking about new rules that kicked in April 2025 that directly hit some of AMD's most advanced AI products, like the super powerful Instinct MI380 accelerator. Suddenly, there are limits on where they can sell their best stuff. And this is where that risk gets a very real, very big price tag. According to their June 2025 filing, AMD is facing a potential hit of $800 million.
That's for inventory they've already made but might not be able to sell if they can't get the right export licenses. That, right there, is the cost of playing in the big leagues.
So, to wrap up this incredible story, AMD saw the AI tidal wave coming and pivoted faster and harder than almost anyone thought possible. Its data center business exploded, its traditional gaming business took a backseat, and it led to a complete company reorganization. But all that success has also dragged it into the turbulent waters of global politics and trade wars. AMD's great pivot was, without a doubt, a massive business success. It turned the company into an AI powerhouse. But the next chapter of its story, well, it won't just be about building great tech, it'll be about navigating the immense pressures that come with being an empire. Thanks for joining this explainer.